I'm Mansion Dubrinsky, and today we are going to be talking about guide dog etiquette and or the top 5 do nots when you're meeting somebody with a guide dog or seeing somebody with a guide dog. Let's just jump right into the video. Number 1, please don't feed our dogs. Please don't feed our dogs. They are not underweight. They are not starving. While we're at the guide dog training center, learning to become a team with our guide dogs, one of the things we have to learn is to maintain healthy weight. Some dogs have allergy to grain, so we have to get grain-free food. If you're feeding the dog while we are working, who's to say that that food won't upset their stomach? Our dogs are on a very specific bathroom schedule. That way, we, the guide dog handlers, will know when they have to poo. Think of the dogs that pull the wagons. We, the handlers, are essentially the wagons. If they are overweight and unhealthy, it just makes their job a lot harder. Also, if they get really sick, we have to take them to the vet. So please don't feed our dogs. Number 2 is please do not pet our dogs. I know they're cute. They're so cute. Whenever we go for guide dog training, even though I have my dog and I want to bond with my dog, I always want to pet everyone else's dog. It's a thing. There's German Shepherds and Golden Retrievers and Yellow Labs and Black Labs and Chocolate Labs, and there's just so many dogs, and especially the German Shepherds because they have like the big ears, and I want to pet them too. I understand the reason why we can't pet them, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to pet them. Think about if we were standing on a street corner. The dog cannot tell if the light is green or yellow or red. In fact, dogs are colorblind, but what they can see is the moving cars. So it is actually up to us, the guide dog handlers, to tell the dogs when to go. What the dog does do is judge if it's safe to go. If there's a silent car turning around another car that's coming to cut us off, the dog is trained not to move or not to take us into the street. However, if you are coming up to the dog and petting him and distracting him, he will not, or she will not, be able to make that judgment and may pull us out into the street and possibly get themselves hurt or us hurt. I don't want you guys to be afraid to come up to us and say, hey, can I pet your dog? I'm a mom. If you are a parent and you come up to me and say, hey, can my child pet your dog? I'm gonna most likely say yes. I will tell my dog to sit and I will put my hand on the dog, and while your child or you come up to say hello to the dog, I will explain that this is my guide dog and they are my eyes because my eyes are broken. Some of the times not to ask to pet the dog is if we are standing at a street corner, going down the steps. Please ask before you pet the dog. That leads me into number 3, which is distracting the dog, tisking the dog, clucking at the dog with your tongue or whichever have you. Please don't do that, because while we're walking, same thing with street corners, or if we're crossing a street, that distracts us. We need not to get distracted. These dogs are super intelligent. So if you say dog or puppy or talk in a high-pitched voice, they're gonna get happy. They respond to the tone of your voice. So if we're walking down a street corner and just like, oh, that dog is so beautiful, he's doing such a great job, that is still considered distracting the dog because they respond to those high tones and those noises. Also, as an extra tip, please don't bring your dog over to say hello to our dogs. That is actually one of the things that they have us do at the guide dog school that I go to. They have a trainer pretend to be somebody else with a dog distraction. So that way we can work with our dogs to tell them to leave it and continue on. Dogs are dogs. They're going to get distracted by other dogs and humans. So please, no whistling, clucking, tisking, car horn beeping, silent eye contacting, distracting our dogs. Number 4 is a little tricky. Please do not yell directions to the guide dog or the guide dog handler. Our dogs are trained to take us around obstacles. That includes trees, trash cans, benches, chairs, tables. It takes us around it. If you were to yell out directions, it may make us, the guide dog handlers, lose focus. If we lose focus, we won't be able to read the dog's body language. That harness we hold in our hand, that is what helps us read every movement. If they put their paws up on a step, we know to step up or lift our feet. If they stop and they start going down, well, those are steps. When they tuck their body closer to us or pulled away, we know to sidestep and to follow them. And if we cannot read the dog right and we end up running into something, we may have to give them a correction and they will think that they are wrong, which in turn will make them second guess themselves next time they have to take us around something. So it's extremely important that you do not call out directions to the guide dog or the guide dog handler. Last but not least is number 5, which is the hardest to explain, and that's exactly why I left it for number 5. So hopefully I can do it justice. Please do not grab us, the guide dog handler, the harness, or the leash. The guide dog's leash equals the communication it gets from the guide dog handler themselves. The harness equals the control that we have. It's our link. We can tell its body movements through that harness, and it needs to feel that tension on the harness to make sure that we are connected. And for grabbing a guide dog handler, would you like to be grabbed? I know that sounds really rude because you are just trying to help. Blind people are independent. We strive for our independence, and you don't know where we're going. A majority of the people who use a guide dog are totally blind. So when you grab them and turn them this way and that way, they have to then reorientate themselves to the direction that they want to go. They have to get the dog on track, and honestly, it's an invasion of privacy. Do you want to be grabbed by somebody? Like, it's just a no. I think 99% of all blind people would prefer you to yell out and say, hey, stop, hey, where are you going? Hey, do you need help? Than grabbing us. So please do not grab us, the harness, or the leash. That is all I have. I hope you enjoyed it and gained some information. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment box, and I will catch you guys in the next video.